Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Happened there, Martin. What was that all about?
Yeah, what was that?
That's 5 seconds. We're not going to get back ever.
Wow.
It's gone. It's just 5.
System.
Problem with the system. Oh, it's the system. I see. Okay.
I think he's working for Potter.
Are you working for Potter now?
Working for Biden?
Probably. Yeah. That's why. Now we got 5 seconds less to bash the president today. Great.
And of
That's
course,
perfect.
You can't let that stuff go. You got to address it. So
You do.
now we're up to
Now it's probably a minute or two. So, all right. If you missed it on Friday's overtime show, we do have a brand new bingo card to share with you.
Yeah.
And it starts in the upper left-hand corner with. No. So you got that going for
This
you.
is pinned to the top of Pat Unleashed on Twitter if you need to print this up to play.
The next square, President Brain Dead. And then we've got in the middle, Posse Comitatus, which is normally spoken. Posse Comitatus! Posse Comitatus! Because people get hysterical about Posse Comitatus! Jeffy says, you can quote me on that. So that'll happen to happen on Wednesday or Friday. KJP, talking about the president. Somehow the sound is just supposed to...
The president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
And there it is. President is the best communicator they have in the White House.
And they got problems over there. And they do.
Then Keith saying...
If it saves just one life.
Again, Jeffy, that's what you do. This from the president, where he says all the time, don't jump.
Okay.
Don't jump.
It sounds a little something like that.
There it is.
So-and-so will be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Foreigner.
That hurts.
The introduction. I am Patrick of Helena, son of Joseph. Warms the cockles of your heart. That used to happen to me all the time. But then I had my cockles surgically removed. So hasn't happened in a while.
So you trans cockles.
Right. Then we have... I haven't grown a third tail.
Haven't grown a third tail.
What if it were reversed?
Oh, gosh.
You know, Republican instead of a Democrat, which happens an awful lot on this show. So, Soviet National Anthem is next. And it sounds a little something like this.
We'll be expected to stand for that soon enough.
No kidding. That's not that far off. The last square on that particular line, we need to have a conversation. When are we going to have that conversation? We sure need it. Then there's, but in Europe, it's kind of like the Posse Comitatus thing. Grown-ass man. I'm your nightmare.
I'm your nightmare.
Sure are. Boy, that's no truer words were ever spoken. Keith with
Dear aliens, send help.
Send help. Jeffy and more. Then we've got Alejandro Mayorkas saying
the border is secure.
Okay. Keith with
Go make the sex with yourself.
Then over there.
Oh, that's how you spell it.
Over there. It's a death cult.
Yeah.
And then this from somebody.
And we need to be free too.
Not really sure where that came from. Was that one of those school board meetings? Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Didn't want to wear a mask or something.
Yeah. She was like 9 or something. 7. And
so
was adorable. And
right in Joe Biden's wheelhouse.
Right. Oh, my gosh. We got to show you. Yet another of those creepy instances with the guy. I thought he had said he was going to stop doing that and be more concerned about people's space. Didn't he say that a couple of years ago?
Yeah, but when he was trying to get the Democrat primary.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That
and
lasted
that's out
5
the
minutes,
window,
yeah.
man. He doesn't. I don't know why somebody, Jill, who was standing right next to him at the time, could maybe say, you know what? It just bad optics. Okay? Don't do that anymore. Stop touching people. Stop smelling people. Stop caressing young girls. Stop it. What are you doing? Just bizarre. It really is bizarre. He was in Mississippi, though, on Friday touring the tornado damage. And he was in Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Okay.
But, of course, he had no idea where he was.
Uh-oh.
The town of Rolling Stone will be back.
Oh, wow.
And we'll be with you every step of the way. And what did I say? I said Rolling Fork. Rolling Stone. I got my mind going here.
Had my mind going here.
Wow.
Hold on a second.
Wow.
When he walks away from that clip, he still thinks the town's name is Rolling Stone.
Does he?
Play that again. Just listen to what he's saying there. He thinks it's Rolling Stone.
The town of Rolling Stone will be back. And we'll be with you every step of the way. And what did I say? I said Rolling Fork, Rolling Stone. I got my mind going here.
So he still thought it was, you're right. I think he believed he was being told.
Oh, my gosh.
Rolling Fork, Rolling Stone. It's a city that's owned by Mick Jagger.
Oh,
and
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and they'll be back. And they're going to play better than they ever have.
The man
Even though they're all 90 years old.
Such an embarrassment.
What'd I say? Yeah. Rolling Stone. I said Rolling Stone. What do you mean?
I tell you, he's just
the worst.
Yeah, by the way,
he is the worst.
That tornado that came through Rolling Fork, Mississippi, they have figured out was 190 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh.
And it was an EF4.
So is that EF4 still?
Yeah.
190 is an EF4? Wow.
Yeah, I forget what the cutoff is, but it's right around there. You're right. Yeah, it was.
Dang. Absolutely amazing.
And by the way, if you want to help out these towns, mercury1.org, because we just keep adding to them every week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And more trouble is coming tomorrow for the middle of the country. Texas to Ohio.
And of course, they had devastating tornadoes again where 33 people died in Arkansas and elsewhere over the weekend. Jeez, just awful. So our thoughts and prayers are with them. And you can actually physically donate to them. Mercury1.org be a great place to go and do that. And of course, this is what I was alluding to a few minutes ago with the pedophile in chief. He noticed a little girl there and absolutely had to be inappropriate with her.
Oh, no. Okay.
And it looked a little something like this.
Yeah, let's see here.
He's touching her.
Don't touch people, bro.
Like, hey, what are you doing? And he clearly is not digging it. And I think, do we have this still at the end where she's showing, you see her face and she's like, okay.
Get him away from me.
Please get this pedo away from me.
Oh, that is.
Wow.
That's a cry for help right there.
Yeah. Just so awkward. People don't know what to do. It's the president of the United States and he's creeping on your daughter and you don't want him to do it, but what are you going to say?
Okay, old man.
Okay.
Let's move along.
Back off. I wish somebody would. It would just be so great if he got put in his place. And then maybe it would stop, you know? If somebody slapped his hand or knocked him away or knocked him out, of course he'd be shot by the Secret Service, but it would make a point.
It sure would.
It would make a point. And thank you for making that point. I hope it was worth it.
And I'm glad to see the comforter in chief, well, in some instances trying to be too much of a comforter. Yeah. But nice to see him showing up at the disaster zones here. But it's day 60 of him not being at East Palestine,
train
Ohio.
derailment.
Yeah, because it was 2 months ago today.
And there was another train derailment just to commemorate the anniversary, I guess. Another train derailed in Montana. Hey, you know what? Let's commemorate the 2-month anniversary of the Ohio derailment, and we'll derail this thing. What is going on with all these derailments? How hard is it to keep a train on the tracks.
Have we determined what the substance? Because the last I saw was
stuff was spilling into the water.
They didn't
in
know
Montana.
what it was yet.
They didn't know what it was.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, there's no danger to anybody, of course, but we have no idea what it is. Well, then how do you know there's no danger to anybody?
Unconfirmed contents. I mean, what kind of how
hard is it? You call up the owner of the train, and you say, "Hey, what are you carrying right now in Montana where those 25 cars derailed?"
I would imagine that if you're, the engineer, whatever, you're driving the train, don't you have like maybe you have a clipboard?
Yeah, right.
That says
shows you what's there.
Car 10 has this, car 11 we're carrying. Oh, that's just nothing. That way, if something happens, we
don't know what that was.
This country, I swear,
it's crazy.
We do know.
Crazy.
We do know that it was. No. This is. See, I was reading this line from the story. The Montana crash comes less than a week after a 70-car train hauling hazardous materials derailed in North Dakota.
Jeez.
So, I mean, and it goes on and on and on, man.
Crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
Yep.
I mean, let's see. The tracks kind of go straight. And are you trying to turn left or right as the engineer? What are you doing?
See, these California stops will get you every time when you're driving a train.
Every stinking time.
Oh, that's what it is.
And, of course, as we mentioned, just tornadoes all over the place. Dozens were killed. I believe it's 33 right now. In Little Rock, Arkansas, huge twister barreled through town, and there's actually video of it.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of interesting videos.
Look at this. Here's the first one.
Look at that.
That's from a ways away.
That's a big
several
boy,
miles.
too.
But look at that thing. That's huge. That's frightening. You see that baby barreling towards you?
Well, yeah, and we have a much closer look at that tornado from inside a business that was hit by that tornado. Watch this. This is something else right here.
Everything's pretty calm so far.
Oh, you see it off in the distance. You just watching here. Okay. All right. It's getting a little closer here. We're gonna keep rolling, huh? Okay. So we'll keep rolling.
Who's taking this footage?
Yeah.
You should be taking shelter here. Forget about the video. Go to shelter.
Yeah, they're saying it on the radio.
Wait,
it's a
this
tornado.
Yeah, is this the?
Babe,
Oh, maybe that's not the one, huh?
get
Hold
in
on.
here.
Here we go. Is this the same one here, Riley? Just checking here. I think it is because there was two. She put up two. Yeah. Watch this.
There's debris flying and everything.
Okay, so then get in.
Holy crap.
I'm pretty calm for what's about to happen here.
Are you getting the video?
All right. Well,
Okay.
I thought this one picked up.
Nothing
sooner.
happens?
Hold on.
So everything's fine.
Wait, no, stop. Hold on. You can kill that one, Kayla. Okay. Is this the timeout? Can we pause for a second? I got a question for Riley behind the scenes here. How many of those videos did you pull from the store there? One or two? Okay. We need the other one. We need the video that was on the right of that post.
And do we have that one or
We're going to have to
that
get
one's
it.
not posted? Okay. Because I think it's like from inside the tornado,
Yeah, you
right?
have to see this. We have to get that pulled
Yeah.
immediately because that is an experience. It's like a ride.
But no one was hurt in the making of this tornado video.
That's a fact, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. But they got a direct hit
They sure did.
and kept recording.
yeah, and
Holy
what,
cow.
what did she say afterward on Facebook? She posted.
Yeah, Kimberly Shaw's her name, apparently. She said, yesterday changed my life. We were in Little Rock when the tornado hit. It was a direct hit to where we were. Sucked me out the door. Thank God for my husband who grabbed me and tried pulling me back in. We're both injured, but okay. Here's the video showing that it almost took my life.
So then she posted it on Facebook too. So we'll get that for you. It's a ride. The one that Kayla just started playing though is been making the rounds this weekend with all the tornado action around the country. I hadn't seen this, so I this is the most fascinating view of a tornado I've ever seen. If you want to play this from Colorado in 2021, look at that thing. That is incredible, and it just seems fake.
Yeah,
it looks like a Hollywood special effect.
Does.
That is, oof. I mean, those are simultaneously the coolest things and the most terrifying things.
Yeah.
And a lot of this country is seeing that. Now, the good news, though, about tornadoes these days is someone posted this fun fact. Since 1954, total tornadoes, and I don't know if you want to put this chart up, Kayla, total tornadoes are up slightly.
1964.
1954. Total tornadoes in the United States are up slightly, as you can see there. And but weak level 1 tornadoes, they're way up.
And you know why? Because we're better at recording them. That's why.
But strong tornadoes measured from level 2 to 5 are way down.
Way down.
So when someone says, "Oh, the weather weird and climate change, more intense storms," no, no. So to go through that again, total tornadoes up a little bit in the last 75 years. Weak tornadoes are way up, but the strong ones are way down, and that's what that chart is telling you.
Interesting.
Right there. See how thick, how long the red lines are for the real serious ones back in the 50s, 60s. Those are smaller as you get closer to today. Not as many powerful tornadoes.
Interesting.
It is.
Because to listen to the global warming freaks, they tell us all the time, much more frequent, much more intense, blah, 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 blah. And that's just, it's a lie. But they lie about all of it. They lie about the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the droughts, the floods, everything.
Did you see the National Weather Service on Friday, which was Trans Visibility Day? Did you, by the way, when you left here, your big goal for the day was you wanted to finally be able to see them when you were out and about. Did you?
Yeah, because I was told they were visible. I didn't run into any. I may have got a glimpse of one, though.
Okay.
But because they were visible, I didn't smash into them.
Now you don't know.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, Friday, meteorologists around the country knew for days that it was going to be a major weather event around the country. And it's the same thing, like I said, they're predicting for tomorrow. So what was the priority Friday morning for the National Weather Service? Was it to alert everyone, hey, we got severe weather coming?
No.
What was it that they
to
did?
Promote justice, equality, and equity for the transgender community. The National Weather Service family champions and stands alongside our transgender employees on this day, and every day.
I swear.
Hashtag Trans Day of Visibility.
There it is.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
So
that's what we
pathetic.
need from the National Weather Service. Isn't it? That's exactly what we need.
The left has now sexualized the weather.
Yeah.
I must admit, I didn't see that coming. But
No, I don't
Congrats.
think a lot of people did.
Congrats. You've covered, I think. Have you now covered every base? I'm afraid to ask. What is left here?
We're going to find out that probably in the next year there's much more territory to cover, and they'll cover it. That's the good thing. They'll definitely cover it.
That's going to be fun. I can't wait. Buckle up, y'all.
Yeah. Should be fun. It's going to be a good time that will be had by all.
And I'm just checking. We don't have the tornado inside the tornado video up and at them yet, right?
We don't. All right.
Okay.
Just to finish off what she said about it, the person who took the video, and this makes sense because I think it was kind of what we were just alluding to. She said at the end that after she mentioned that both she and her husband were injured but okay, and then she says, here's the video that almost took my life. She finishes by saying, stop recording tornadoes and get into shelter instead. I've learned this the hard way. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's true.
Good safety tip
That's true,
there.
Kimberly Shaw. However, once you see the video, you will be convinced it was totally worth it. Because that is a cool video.
So long as they weren't killed.
They weren't killed.
It was completely worth it. That's great. 888-900-3393. also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. So we'll have that for you as soon as we possibly can. But apparently we don't at this particular moment. James Patterson called out the New York Times for their bizarre bestsellers list practices with their best-selling books. I mean, they're really the authority. When you hear that a book is selling well, what do they always quote? The New York Times bestsellers list.
There it is.
But what he has discovered, and I didn't know this about James Patterson, he is credited with over 200 novels spanning 5 decades. 114 of them made it to the New York Times bestsellers list. Cool. So that's a world record. 114 on the New York Times bestsellers list.
A lot of
Can you imagine that?
Go an entire life just hoping to publish that great American novel.
Right.
Never mind bestseller list. This guy's 114 bestsellers?
114, 67 of them hit number 1. Both of those are Guinness World Records. Wow. Isn't that something?
That is incredible.
But on behalf of Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, he said, hey, how come Pompeo is outselling so many of these books that are ahead of it on the New York Times bestsellers list? Now, this is something Glenn has addressed multiple times because he's been a victim of it multiple times. There was, in fact, this stuff, I don't know, a couple books ago, he had written this book that was by far number 1. And it outsold the number 2 book, I think, for the week by 40,000 copies or something like that. And he was down to 4th or 5th on the list. How does that happen? Well, because the New York Times bestsellers list is weighted. And so certain bookstores or places where they sell books are more important than others, and so they count for more. Wait, it either sold the best or it didn't. What do you mean? This is not subjective. You just count the books, and whoever had the most is at the top of the list.
It's funny you mentioned the New York Times because over the weekend, blue checks are starting to disappear if you don't pony up.
Oh, right.
And that process is underway. The New York Times lost their blue check.
Really? Good.
Yeah, because they didn't pony up. So
they can't afford $8 a month?
Guess not. Well,
that's great.
Elon Musk tweeted out, the real tragedy of the New York Times is that their propaganda isn't even interesting. Also, their feed is the Twitter equivalent of diarrhea. It's unreadable. Elon Musk.
That's great.
World's richest man.
I saw that he has the most Twitter followers now.
Oh, Elon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
You want to talk about, it pays to have your access to the controls.
Do we know how many? Is he over 100 million, I suppose?
Oh, I could look. I've never checked it out. I'll let you know here.
Vin Diesel, I thought, at one point had the most followers. Is that Facebook maybe, though, or Twitter? Because he was around 80 million. And you're like, why is he the voice of Groot? And then you realize how many Twitter followers he had.
It's not Twitter that's doing
Maybe
it for him.
Maybe it's Facebook.
Yeah, because that's 430,000 there.
430,000 is all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so he must be active wherever
Instagram
else.
Or Facebook or I don't know.
Elon is at 133.5 million. Elon Musk.
Wow. That's almost everybody who's on Twitter.
Just a little
follows him.
North of what you and I have.
Oh, yeah. Barely. It's not even worth mentioning the difference.
It's like a rounding error.
That's what it's like.
When you do Pat Unleashed or Keith Malinak on Twitter.
It's just a little bit of change. That's all. By the way, speaking of super popular people, announced over the weekend, Asa Hutchinson is running for president.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. I remember he sucked during the lockdowns.
He's jumping right into the 2024 presidential race. Recently completed 2 terms as Arkansas governor. Said yesterday he will seek the Republican presidential nomination, positioning himself as an alternative to Donald Trump. In fact, he suggested Donald Trump get out of the race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that be nice if everybody who is going to crush you in this race were to get out of it? Then, that would be good for you, wouldn't it?
I got news for Asa. It's going to take a lot more than Trump getting out.
That's for sure. That is for sure. What inspires a guy like this to think, no one has any idea who I am. Mm-hmm. I think I can win this thing.
Okay.
How do you come to that conclusion? I mean, everybody puts together those presidential, what do they call them? When you're investigating.
Something.
Yeah. Can't think of the term right now.
Floating a balloon, trial balloon. We got I don't know. Something squad. Exploratory committee.
Exploratory committee. And you were successful?
Somebody came back to you and said,
hey,
I see a path.
I see a path to you getting the nomination and winning the presidency.
Okay.
Really?
Republican Party's not in that bad of shape that we need Asa Hutchinson.
I think they're in much better shape than the Democrats are. And there's no path for anybody really but Biden.
Well, yeah. I mean, later today, though, we'll have a clip of someone who is starting to make noise on the Democrat side about running for president in 2024.
Is it somebody who's pissed off at Joe Biden in the Democrat Party?
Aren't they all?
Is it?
Guess we'll have to find out.
Are you trying to keep it secret?
Well, I'm only trying to keep it secret instead of playing the clip now because, speaking of Arkansas, we have that tornado footage here.
Oh,
would you like to see that
inside
the hurricane or the tornado?
Right.
Sorry.
I was listening to it the whole way up.
Okay.
I mean, we were literally like in the...
Yeah, you're in it all right. Watch that traffic light out there. See that green light?
Oh, I'm getting this.
Here we go. It's there. Might want to seek shelter.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Game on. Oh, God.
Oh, she's almost getting sucked out.
She does get sucked out. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And he grabs her. He's out in it now.
Wow.
Oh, can you imagine?
Jeez.
The door's shattered now. He's holding on to her. He drags her back in. Oh. Don't let
That's
go.
frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is frightening.
All right. They're okay.
Wow.
So this, we'll put this down a little bit here. So they're just kind of, checking their body, making sure I got all my limbs and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to play this entire 2-minute thing here, but it goes. You do see the guy is dripping blood onto the floor there. In fact,
got cut by the glass.
Yeah,
probably.
I think so because he was
Jeez.
Reaching out, holding on to her. But I love at the very end. Kayla, how much time's left on this video? Yeah, here we go. Just listen to this. Pop this up.
Is your car still up here or the cars are gone?
No.
The cars are gone, baby. I'm stuck here, okay.
So she's on the phone with somebody now.
I mean, there's everything in here. Oh, yeah. He's sticking the hands on it. Oh, my God.
He's dripping blood.
Yeah.
And then he says, well, you're not dead. Here we go.
Get off bed.
You're not dead. I mean, that's the South right there. Look, you're not dead. So
It's interesting, too, because you really don't see the tornado come.
It's just there.
Yeah, it's just on them. Mm-hmm. Like it just, I don't know if it bounced to where they were, but you would think you would see it gradually, or maybe even quickly coming toward you. You really don't see that.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary. Because that's probably why she kept rolling the footage, because she didn't know it was right on him. Wow.
And as she said,
frightening. Turn off the
seek
camera.
Shelter.
Yeah.
Don't record that.
Shoot.
But look, you know what? You got a lot of clicks. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And you didn't die, like the guy said.
Didn't die. Wow. Very, very fortunate, very blessed that they didn't die, because that was it's another bad weekend for tornadoes. And whether they're record-setting or not, whether they're more intense or not, when it happens to you, it's a big deal, and it's life-changing.
Yeah, we had severe weather right here in DFW last night. And anybody listening between Texas on a diagonal line up to Ohio, be ready for tomorrow because this pattern is continuing. Man.
Yeah. And 91 today. And DFW. 91. So we got that going for us, too. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Got some tweets here. Let's see. High Plains Stranger tweets. Pat, these train derailments are symptomatic of the overall problem that our country is going off the rails. See what they did there?
I do. I like it, yeah.
Mr. S. Yeah, we need a president from Arkansas. Worked so well the last time. Didn't it, though? And from Fury and Energy, Asa Hutchinson is finally in the race. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Me and all my friends have been clamoring for him to get in. This changes nothing. Also, interestingly, there is a Democrat in the race as well.
Well, not yet. Officially.
Well, yeah, right.
Maybe.
Right. There may be another. There's already what's-her-face got into it.
Marianne Williamson.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So he's going to be primaried, apparently. I mean, if they last that long.
If he lasts that long.
But here's the other person
who
may be in it.
Interesting. Okay.
Are you open to running for president on that ticket?
Joe Manchin.
Dana, first of all, I'm worn out. The people are tired, sick and tired of the fighting and division that we have and dividing the country. Abraham Lincoln said, divided we cannot stand. We cannot basically have a divided country.
Exactly.
You know the
and
thing.
We cannot withstand that. We have to come together.
So are you
with the
considering
United
running
States.
for president?
We have a movement.
So are you considering it?
There's a movement going on that people want.
Say it
to
again,
bring
Dana. It's Dana,
the
by the way.
extremes back to the
Dana
sensible
Bash.
and reasonable, responsible middle.
Do you want to
If
lead
I
that
can be
movement in
part
a
of
bid for
trying to get a
president?
dialogue, I'm trying to get a dialogue to where people are saying,
dialogue.
come on, this is ridiculous. Don't force people to go to the extremes.
Would you like to replace President Braindead? Is that your goal?
No, I think he just
Mr. Manchin?
wants to have a dialogue or...
No, we should have a conversation.
Yeah, we need to have
Can
a
we
conversation.
please just have a conversation
That's
about
all he
it?
wants to do. He's not saying he's running.
Is it so much to ask that we finally have a conversation?
Dana.
I don't think so.
Creepy.
So, yeah, Joe Manchin is pissed about certain things from the Biden administration that they promised him and then didn't do. Like with the Inflation Reduction Act, they got him to sign off on that by telling him a whole bunch of lies, whole pack of lies about what was going to happen with. It was mainly over the materials involved in electric vehicles. And he wanted them to come from America. We all know Joe Biden doesn't give a rat's anus about anything coming from America because he's got an America last policy. And he is going full speed ahead with that America last policy. And so what they promised Manchin was, yeah, we've got certain restrictions here. We're going to have to get it from North America. And they're not. They came up with back channels and ways around it, and they just did a workaround, and now he's upset about it. And he should be.
Right. You could get rid of Joe Manchin in one debate. It would just take some candidate saying, look, you're constantly getting duped by your own party.
Right. Right.
Why should we believe that you're going to make the right decision in a room with, say, Vladimir Putin?
Yeah. How many times have they told you something and lied to you and you just bought into it? Over and over and over and over again. You act like you actually have principles and then you sell them out every single time. Why? Be a great question for him. No one will ask it. But be interesting if he got into the race, though. I'd kind of like to see some infighting in the Democrat Party. That'd be great. Also on Friday, Peter Ducey had a question for KJP about artificial intelligence and whether she has any, artificial or otherwise. Oh, was that not the question? He wasn't asking her about her intelligence?
That's a better question.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Here's what happened.
There's an expert from the Machine Intelligence Research Institute who says that if there is not an indefinite pause on AI development, this is a quote, literally everyone on Earth will die.
No.
Oh, wow.
No.
Who said that? Pause that for a second. Who did?
Would you agree?
Some head of some computer.
Oh, my gosh. Can we go back to... I wasn't paying very close attention to him for some reason. Let's see that again from the top, if we could. Because that's
There's an expert from the Machine Intelligence Research Institute who says that if there is not an indefinite pause on AI development, this is a quote, literally everyone on Earth will die.
Whoa.
That's
a big statement.
They're laughing in there.
Would you agree that does not sound good?
He's not
That
laughing.
does not sound good.
He's laughing. Everybody
Your
thinks-
delivery, Peter, is quite something.
It sounds crazy, but is it?
All I can say is that there's a comprehensive process
Oh,
in
no.
place. We
Here we
put
go.
out a blueprint back in October, as you know.
This is all she
I
can
don't have
say.
anything to share. We have seen the letter. We understand what their concerns are.
Okay.
Again, a comprehensive process. We'll let that flow.
So is President Biden worried that artificial intelligence could become self-aware?
Look, there's a comprehensive process. We are taking this very seriously. We put our
The answer's
blueprint
no,
out
Peter.
Back in October. I just don't want to get ahead of our findings.
That's all my book
and
has in
what
front of me. Sorry.
what that's going to look like. But it is a cohesive federal government approach to AI-related risks,
Is there anything-
as you just laid out in a
any
very
such
dramatic
thing?
way.
Is
But
it-
clearly,
Is there anything more dramatic?
I mean, you just read it.
Literally everyone on Earth will die.
pretty dramatic. We're going to move on.
We're gonna
Thank
move
you,
on.
Peter.
That's all I got in
Thank
my
you for
book.
the drama. Go ahead.
About sorry, a little more serious topic.
Little more serious subject, says the next reporter.
Yeah. That's,
Everyone in that room was laughing except for Peter Ducey. Why does I feel like that clip's going to come back to haunt us?
and they'll be sorry. They just dismissed it like that. Yeah, just don't worry about it.
We're all going to be sorry. Not good, man.
Wow.
I don't like it.
Well, everything is fine. Everything's fine under this president. There's nothing to worry about. The country's in great shape. We're strong. The U.S. dollar is strong.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't realize this. I appreciate this pep talk here for a Monday morning.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because, what did the president of Kenya mean last week when he said it was time to dump the U.S. dollar?
This is sad. I'm scared.
People who work numbers, I am giving you free advice that those of you who are holding dollars, you surely might go into losses. You better do what you must do, because this market is going to be different in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
okay. Hello.
Is it?
Little help here.
It's interesting.
Okay. So that was over a week ago. He said that. So you got the clock's ticking. I guess he said a couple of weeks. So you got about another week before it all comes crashing in.
Wow. It's president of Kenya. Nobody's going to listen to him, I guess. But somebody should. Maybe we should start paying attention when so many world leaders are saying something to that effect. You might want to sit up and take notice
The
of it.
world is changing. Russia and China just said, hey, we're paving the way forward in this new world order.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
And they really are.
Those last two clips, I feel, are going to come back and haunt us. The AI a little bit further down the road.
Right.
The dollar thing from the Kenyan president sooner.
Yeah, like tomorrow.
Yeah, like that.
Or later on today. One of the two. Hey, thank you for stepping up with preborn and the ultrasound machine.
Wow.
Our listeners came up with this idea of just buying a whole machine, because $28 is great. If you can do that, that'd be fantastic. But there were some who said, you know what, maybe some of us can do a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you have. And so we're very close. We got to get an update today.
We're hoping to get an update today. Exactly. I will say that we were dangerously close toward the end of last week.
Mm-hmm.
So here's hoping y'all have stepped up so big here for that. What was it, $15,000 we were trying to raise for that one machine?
Yep.
God bless y'all. Thank you.
If you'd like to contribute, get us over the top, go to preborn.com/Pat. And when you donate, make sure you type in Pathead Machine. Your donation will go directly to that, to get a brand new ultrasound machine for some deserving center, so that they can show ultrasounds to these women who are considering abortion. It makes them twice as likely to choose life once they see the ultrasound. And we'll keep you updated on the progress. As soon as we get the update, we will share it with you. as we try to get this machine purchased for a preborn clinic. And we want to do it by Mother's Day. Hopefully we'll do it long before that. It's a special gift to bless hurting mothers and their babies who desperately need our help. So remember to note Pathead Machine when you go to preborn.com/Pat for Operation Pathead Machine.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Oh, the national championship game tonight. UConn versus San Diego State. Those are the two schools that came through on Saturday in the semifinals of the Final Four. San Diego State beat Florida Atlantic. It's too bad they had to play each other in the semis. That would have been fun.
No.
And then UConn beat Miami handily. I mean, UConn has just waltzed through 5 opponents in this tournament. They were only 25-8 coming into the tournament. Now they're 30-8, but they didn't look like. I mean, they had a 4 seed, which is good, but it's not great, and kind of a surprise. And San Diego State, of course, is a real surprise.
That FAU San Diego State game, buzzer beater. I feel so bad for Florida Atlantic. I love the story of how they were driving around in a van or something with an oil leak not too long ago, and now they were treated like royalty at the Final Four. And cool. They had the lead the entire game, and then San Diego State with that amazing shot there at the buzzer. I was actually I had to watch the end of that game at the Red Lobster. So so I got to see that game there at the Red Lobster, and a shout out to Pathead Luke, who I guess recognized me and says he's a big fan of the show. Loves what we do here. So Luke at Red Lobster,
hey,
thanks for tuning in, man. We appreciate it. And anyway, that's my. I hated to. When you see a Cinderella team like Florida Atlantic, it's like, man, you want that just to keep going.
Yeah, you do.
And
to a certain extent, San Diego State was a little bit of a Cinderella too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so for them to be in the national championship game, it's pretty cool. Would have been better for I think they were in the same side of the bracket, but Florida Atlantic versus Princeton. Something like that in the championship game?
Yeah.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
Instead of the same old... I mean, UConn has won 5 national championships.
That sounds right, yeah.
Going for... I think maybe this would be their 5th if they win tonight. And I mean, the way they've been going through the teams in this tournament, seems like they will win this thing, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They're hot.
This past weekend was supposed to be the Trans Day of Rage... But organizers of a Washington, D.C. event canceled their plans, saying they had a credible threat because the trans community is constantly under attack.
You know it.
Our hearts go out to them, of course,
at
this time when they're being so victimized. Leading into the weekend, we had the Trans Day of Visibility. We had this trans member telling us how special trans people are.
Oh.
And what God thinks about all this.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly.
All right.
I think children are only unsafe at drag shows when a shooter shows up to kill them.
That's right.
That's where the threat is. I would challenge anyone just to get to know trans people. We are a vibrant, diverse community, as diverse as anyone else.
Okay.
I'm from the great state of Texas. I served in the military. I go to church every Sunday. My faith is very important to me. But God made me in her image. God made me transgender.
Good golly.
And to see these people so cynically weaponize this and exploit these children's debts and their teachers' debts, it breaks my heart. I wonder what those families are thinking right now.
What do you feel when you have somebody like Michael Knowles say at CPAC, we need to eradicate transgenderism, and when somebody like Tucker Carlson says that transgender people are at war with Christians?
I can't see Christ in their words. That's for damn sure. I can't see where the biblical principles of loving your neighbor and walking the walk with Christ that they can see.
Okay.
I can't see what they're seeing right now
anymore.
because that's not
I
Christ.
cannot take it anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
But he can see God making mistakes and putting her into a male body to begin with. Oops. Huh. What a weird thing.
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
Still waiting for the evidence of attacks on the trans community.
I know.
Right? I mean, I'm definitely...
Now, I do know about the trans person who murdered 6 innocent people a week or so ago. I know about that.
It is man.
But I've yet to see, and maybe it happens, I don't know, but I'm not seeing the trans people being attacked.
I am seeing the attacks on Christians and pro-lifers, federal judges, parents that show up at school board meetings, Trump supporters, conservative speakers, any Republican, any voter that identifies like that.
Seen a lot of that.
Women, whites, Asians, children. Are they going to get a day of vengeance, or is that not the thing? You talked about the victim, how they feel like they're all under attack and all this stuff. Well, thankfully, a celebrity, Madonna, is going to hold a benefit concert for the victims, the trans victims in this society in Nashville. She's going to Nashville to do a show. God. Is that not obscene? It's obscene. Wow. And Senator J.D. Vance, he tweeted out, is there going to be a benefit concert for the murdered children and their families?
Unreal. It's an upside-down world.
Right. And remember how we played the stuff out of Nashville where they overtook the Capitol last Thursday, I think it was, and they were holding up 7 fingers, Pat. So to remember all the victims, the 6 murdered Christians at the Covenant School, and the trans shooter.
That is despicable. It's despicable.
Right?
Jeez.
This world is insane.
There's no words for it. There really aren't.
Yep.
Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears had some thoughts while she was on the Bill Maher show.
Yeah, it's going to be a long clip here. I don't know that.
How long is it?
Over 2 minutes.
So, okay. We'll have to play that.
It's worth waiting for.
So that'll be coming up.
Yeah.
Here. We also have another victim at a pro-trans rally. We'll have to share that with you, too, because another trans person being victimized. You'll see how brutalized that person was coming up here in a minute. Billboard Chris was out there. They call him that because he wears billboards wherever he goes.
Okay, yeah.
He's a protester, and he shows up with these billboards on his kind of on
sandwich
his
board type stuff.
Yeah, the sandwich board stuff. And he goes all over the country doing this, and he's really brave about it because he's in the midst of people who hate his guts just about every single time. And he was in the midst of one of these melees. We'll get into that coming up. Also, an FBI informant testifies in the Proud Boys trial for the January 6th, the day democracy almost died. And this FBI informant testifies on behalf of the defense. Huh. Oh, isn't that interesting?
It sure is.
We'll tell you about that as well, and lots more coming up.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets here from Hippie Patriot. Peter Ducey asked if Joe Biden was aware of AI dangers. The hilarious part is that he asked if Biden was aware.
Be more specific, Peter.
From Carl Smith, nobody in the Biden administration has time to worry about the dangers of AI as they're spending every day trying to prove they have any real intelligence.
The president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
Oh, no question. Chicken Too Tasty tweets. So if KJP can discard the AI person for being catastrophic, let's see her do the same thing to the climate morons.
Yeah,
I wish. Ape Lincoln tweets, God made me in their image and made me do all the legwork. Referring to the trans person who said that's just what she wanted him to be. Oh, all right. Tamara B. tweets, does the National Weather Service also support Christian children in school? Apparently not. No, apparently not. So over the weekend, there were people speaking out from the trans community. First we've got Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears.
Yes, on Bill Maher.
She had some thoughts on Bill Maher's show. Bill Maher had some thoughts as well, but here's that exchange.
Well, what's interesting, if you've noticed, they are misgendering
I don't know who this guy
and
is.
dead naming the
loser.
murderer. Right? They are
Dead
referring
naming
to the
the
murderer
murderer.
by their
you're worried
given
about
name,
that?
not
Yeah,
their
he
chosen
is.
name,
Right.
and by
Who
their
cares?
referring to her as a woman, as opposed to what her identity apparently was a man.
Right.
Which is
So?
not the way the media usually does these things. They're usually very particular about the subjective sense of gender identity in respecting that. If someone says they're a man, then they're a man. But in this case, they're not doing that.
She's
Hang
a killer,
on, you know
so
what?
who cares?
This person murdered 6 people.
Thank you.
I don't really care who you say you are.
Yes.
You murdered 6 people, and
There you
3
go.
of them were children. You don't get a say. Well, she's dead now, so, but you don't get a say in telling us who you are and what you're about. You
Right.
killed 6 people.
Thank you.
Okay, but
That's what
let's
really
take
matters.
her out of this and just
All right, so here's what I'm saying.
talk about the issue without the
So
murderer.
the issue then, well, no, because you brought it out, so we
Okay.
can talk about it. So now we're on to
Nice.
something else. But here's the thing.
Okay.
I'm a parent all day. I get to decide what happens in my child's life. Not you, not the government, not anybody. I don't co-parent. I had this child. I'm responsible for this child. Anything happens to little Johnny, you're calling me, right? As you should. Right. So what I'm saying, hang on. So what I'm saying now is, if I don't want my child given lap dances at school by a drag queen, I don't want it done.
Right.
That's happening.
But do you think the
If I
state
don't
should have
want-
the right? Do you think the state should have the right to
I'm
interfere?
talking about as a parent.
Well,
I am a parent.
I mean,
Forget the state. I'm a parent.
lap dances.
This is my child.
I'm not
I will make a decision
I'm
about
not
what
sh-
happens with my child.
I'm not sure lap dances.
It's happening.
Lap,
Don't you see it?
there's drag queen story out. There are definitely drag queens reading to children.
There are drag queens that are doing pole dances. There are drag queens that are
In school?
You.
What?
Bill, you gotta read more.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
I love that. That's good stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's the thing. On this show, we don't play every clip. There's so many out there of these drag queens doing these unspeakable things with children. And so we don't play them, but they're happening out there. That's a tough one. Do you play all this stuff, the evidence, so people know what they're up against, or do you not, give them publicity?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It is.
But she did a great job there, and
She's awesome.
the audience was applauding.
Yeah, they were.
And Bill Maher was laughing when she basically put him in his place.
Right.
Keep an eye on her.
Not much you could say about that. I mean, she was just dead right, and even the Bill Maher audience realized it. He also talked about Maher actually spoke about the social contagion of transism. He said that there is a social contagion that plays a role in this surge of children who identify as transgender. He was talking about the transgender mass shooter, and they had this in the same panel. And he said, to be fair, probably I think the studies show, most of the people who do it say they are glad they did it, he says. I think most who do it, and I guess that's transition. I've talked to parents about this. A lot of times, that the kid is not gay. There was just the factory installed equipment didn't match. Okay, that's a real thing. It happens, but it's rare, but it happens. And that's true. It is rare. But you're talking about, there are the other ones now, because it's somewhat trendy. Yeah. I know people hate to hear that, but it's obviously true. There's an element of social contagion, or else it wouldn't be so prevalent here in California and not in Indiana. It wouldn't be regional. That's a great point.
Yes, it is.
It's a great point. There is a social contagion right now because it is trendy right now. So, I don't know.
And it's dangerous, though. It's a trend that's dangerous because it's irreversible. It's not, hey, what are some trends when you were a kid,
Long hair.
Long hair,
You
right?
can cut it.
You can cut it.
Bell-bottom pants.
Bell-bottom
you can
pants.
wear something else.
Right.
They don't change. the exterior stuff where it doesn't change you.
Yeah.
But when you're cutting things off your body, that's a problem.
Permanent.
Or when you're giving yourself things that are going to block the natural process of your body.
Evil.
And wrong. It's just so wrong. And you can't tell me that there's no lingering effects from that. First of all, I don't think we've used these enough to really know for certain. But, I mean, common sense tells you that if you block somebody's natural process of puberty, something's going to happen to them longer term.
Yeah, and the next two video clips we have are those who have transitioned, who regret it, having access to it as a youth.
Here's one of the trans individuals who, I don't know, for some reason, they do this all the time, decided to do some kind of message from their car.
It's quiet, you know?
Yeah.
It's a quiet
And they're
place.
alone.
And they're alone. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough to find a quiet space in this world. But this is such a great message. This is someone who transitioned at 15, I believe. And she's got a warning, I guess. Yeah.
So in America, we have this thing called freedom of speech. No one has to respect my pronouns. If I'm walking down the road and someone wants to call me he, him, I might be upset about it, but there's nothing I can do about it because that's people's First Amendment right. You know, I've done my entire transition. I've been on HRT. I've had 2 different breast augmentations. I've had the literal surgery. I have female anatomy, or at least the closest thing I can get to female anatomy. If I'm not offended, why does it seem like so many people in the community, particularly the non-binary community, are offended?
Good question.
Is it because a lot of you guys, the only transition that's taking place really is your pronouns? Is it because you take it so personally? Because to me, my transition and who I am is a lot more than my pronouns. It's a lot more than someone just calling me she, her. If someone calls me he, him, I'm still Kelly. I still feel like myself. I don't need a pronoun to define my entire existence.
Wow,
I
that's
don't
great.
need to use a pronoun and respect someone who unalived innocent children to feel like, oh, well, I'm doing it for the greater good of the community. If anything, you're bringing the community down, which is exactly what I think the trans visibility movement did. Because if you really think about it, you guys, back before like people knew what it was to be trans, before Caitlyn Jenner came out, it meant a lot more when a child would say, oh, I feel like I'm the other gender, because they didn't know what it meant to be trans. So it actually wasn't something that was just taught to them, right? They didn't just pick it up, hear it somewhere, and then think, oh, I want that label, and then they're gonna make a huge life mistake. If you want to call me a conservative, call me a conservative. I believe in protecting children. I believe in not respecting child unalivers. And I believe people that make transitions should go through a lot of therapy and make sure it's right for them before they jump into this. And they should be over the age of 18, honestly. And I'm saying that as someone who transitioned at 15. I truly feel like, legally speaking, the age in this country that you can consent to medication is 18 years of age. I feel like that's how it should be for HRT. Now, I'm not saying you can't experiment with like clothing when you're younger. I don't see the harm in that. But like, honestly, I'm very lucky to not regret the decision I made at 15 years old, right? I'm very lucky to be happy with where I'm at. Not everyone feels that way.
I wouldn't have guessed that she was a he before. Would you?
No, I needed the explanation there.
So thank goodness there are people like that person speaking out about this. Thank you for doing that. And another member of the trans community had this to say while on stage at an event.
A mentally ill teenager who had been groomed and preyed upon and sexually exploited online to the point of authorities getting involved. I spiraled into a hatred of myself and my body and was told that it was just because I was a boy born in the wrong body and that this would fix me. I was affirmed down a path where I wasn't given any other choice as to what would help me. The very first medical intervention I ever had was a double mastectomy at 16. And then a few months later, I was put on testosterone.
Good golly.
I'm now 21, and I will live with the impacts of that so-called care for the rest of my life. In the past 4 or 5 months, I have watched as my body has fallen apart in front of me, my joints constantly hurting, my vocal cords aching, watching as parts of me atrophy away before my very eyes. And yet at 16, they looked me in the eyes and they told me this was care. They told me it would save me. Despite the fact I was never suicidal, my parents were baited with the idea of, would you rather have a dead daughter or a living son? Bullied into going along with it. Their biggest crime being trusting those who they thought took an oath to do no harm. It's not about hate, detransitioning. It never has been. It's about keeping kids whole.
Nice.
I've worked with children. I've seen them explore the world, and I've seen that magic that they have. And doing something like transitioning them takes that away. How can you look me in the eyes and tell me that a child can consent to being chained to an experimental medical industry before they're even old enough to drive or understand the impacts of what that means in the first place? That's right. That's right. Kids deserve to be kids. They deserve to get to explore the world as a safe and loving place.
Wow. So, had a double mastectomy at 16, transitioning to a male, and now is back to her original female form.
Yeah, trying to detransition.
Jeez. Really sad.
So sad.
Really, really sad. Meanwhile, in Canada, a conservative, this is Billboard Chris, is up there at a pro-trans rally. And here's what happened as Chris victimized one of the trans people there. Watch this.
Why do you think they're getting that kind of representation? I mean, it's clearly was aggressive, violent assault.
You suck. You suck. You're not wanted.
And the trans person comes up, starts yelling.
Just obscenities. That's why there's no audio.
And continues yelling obscenities over and over and over. Somebody's out of control here. Who is it? Is it Chris? Or is it the trans person?
Oh, boy.
While waving, I don't know, rainbow flags in Chris's face, he continues to ignore her, doesn't say a thing, tries to get a little closer to the interviewer. Then another one comes up, starts yelling at him, flipping him off.
Oh, my goodness.
And watch this. Completely out of control. Grabs him.
Whoa.
Swings him around.
Didn't get the response.
Throws him to the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. They got physical.
But, of course, the trans person's the victim here, right? That's what we'll hear. I mean, look at that. He's absolutely victimized. He's attacked, physically, brutally attacked, and the police don't do anything to the trans person. God, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Boy, it's so ladylike with that attack.
Yeah, very ladylike.
Oh, God.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, I'm convinced now.
It's ma'am over there. You got that, huh? Incredible. So dainty. So dainty.
We had to make it clear that we're not dealing with a man here.
No, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was a female. Sure.
It's definitely a female, right? Okay.
That was a female. 888-900-3393. Let me tell you about if you are a male and you want to become even more male-like, why, then there's Nugenics. You could take Nugenics with Testofen because, when you're younger, you're at the peak of your testosterone production. Then you get older and you don't produce as much. That's where Nugenics with Testofen comes in. The Total T Testosterone Booster with Testofen will help you turn back the clock. It'll re-energize your workouts. You'll get better results at the gym. You're just going to feel better, have more energy. And as they say on TV, and she'll like it too. Nugenics Total T contains man-boosting key ingredients like Testofen. It's been validated in 5 clinical studies to boost free testosterone levels in men. So, get a complimentary bottle of Nugenics Total T when you text 231231. Enter the keyword UNLEASHED. Text that now. Get a bottle of Nugenics Thermo. their most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Again, it's 231-231. Enter the keyword unleashed. Text 231-231. Keyword unleashed. Texting enrolls you into recurring automatic text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
You're listening to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
Although I'll keep my social distance, what this world needs is a hug.
Just a little reminder for you here.
We find the vaccination.
And we did.
There's no substitute for love. Okay. So love yourself.
There's a substitute for love now. It's called the vaccine.
Anytime from a stranger, just a friend you ain't met yet.
So good.
So good. I'm glad you said it.
So good.
Because it is.
It is, isn't it? It's brilliant. Perhaps John Bon Jovi's finest work ever, I would say. Meanwhile, in Canada, bearded man Avi Silverberg smashed a woman's weightlifting record held by transgender lifter Anne Andres in Canada. And there's the young lady right there. He did say he identifies as a woman for the competition.
Love it.
And he casually lifted, let's see, it says here somewhere, 167 kilograms. So that could be 3 ounces or it could be 5,000 pounds. There's no way to tell.
Okay.
Some people have said it's about 368 pounds, but I don't know where they're getting that.
That's weird. It's a random number. They're just plucking out of the air, huh?
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
About 368 pounds. So he broke the record that was set by the trans person. Was it just last weekend?
I don't know.
The trans person? No, I think that's when he did it. I don't know when the trans person set the record.
I don't know, but
it's been smashed.
Right. The trans person was on hand to witness, well, this young lady, as you described him.
Yeah.
And he was what? He was just making a point. Like, look, this is stupid. Stop.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, men can lift more than women. And here it is. And he casually lifted it. It was like not a problem for him. It's like he was doing it sleepwalking. So, yeah, but there's no evidence. Who was it? Oh, it was, I think it was NPR a couple of weeks ago, last week before, said there's almost no scientific evidence that men have any physical advantages over women. What? Okay.
Insanity.
Yeah. There's plenty of anecdotal evidence if you just look at the world of sports. I don't know. You might want to start there and just take a look and see if you can see any differences between men and women. Men's times, men's accomplishments as opposed to women physically.
Yeah, remember
they're different.
That dude Leah Thomas was ranked 400 and something,
462, I believe,
among men, and
number one among women. But I think that was just a coincidence.
Okay,
just got really good all of a sudden.
Well, training will do that.
Yes, it will, and that's what happened. Anyway, the Biden administration will now allow immigrants applying for benefits through the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to mark their preferred gender identity without needing their other documentation to match. Oh, wow, that's great.
Good.
Isn't that great?
Good.
So inclusive. In a press release on Friday, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said effective immediately, the agency was updating its policy to accept, quote, the self-identified gender marker for individuals requesting immigration benefits. The gender marker they select does not need to match the gender marker indicated on their supporting documentation.
No.
How's that possible? On official U.S. government documents, it doesn't need to match.
No. And you know that this is the Biden administration hoping that they can convince some of these illegals to come in here and do that.
Of course.
I mean, this will help. Because, we always make the point, look at all the dudes coming across here.
Yeah.
Now they can say, look at the numbers. The numbers don't support what you're saying.
The president is the best communicator that we have in the White House.
Oh, well, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Dudes are chicks, and chicks are dudes.
That's great. It's a fantastic world right now, isn't it?
I'm loving
it.
it.
Completely makes sense.
It totally makes sense, and it's so fun to live in it too.
Fun. That's exactly the word. Fun. This is also fun. Oil prices have soared after Saudi Arabia has led a coordinated OPEC Plus cut in production.
Not good.
Which totals more than 1 million barrels per day. Now, they cut about 500,000, and then they got some of the other OPEC Plus member nations to cut back as well, to the tune of hundreds of thousands of barrels each. And now it's 1.1 million barrels less per day. So there you go.
That's in addition to Russia, right?
Russia cut back too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Russia, they are now the president of the UN Security Council for the entire month of April, giving it unique powers to define issues.
Oh, man. Isn't that great?
Ooh,
it's just great. The UN makes so much sense. I mean, how could you do any better than the United Nations?
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, I don't think you could do any better. So this is great because, you know, the price went up already. Front month West Texas Intermediate crude for May delivery is about $80 a barrel now, while Brent crude, the global benchmark, is almost $85 per barrel. And prices had already been going up at the pump, so expect them to go up even further and increase more sharply now.
It's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. I heard earlier on my favorite morning show, Pat Gray Unleashed, they said that everything is going great under Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
We're good, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everything's fine. Everything's awesome when you're part of a team.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Speaking of Ukraine, as we were with the Glenn Beck promo a minute ago, it's kind of fun. There's a problem apparently with Russian fighter jets that are tricking Ukrainian pilots into sneaky swarming ambush attacks, according to a Ukrainian Air Force major. And so it highlights why the country's president, obviously Ukraine, meaning Zelensky, has continued his calls for more advanced air power aid from the United States. He said the Russians change tactics all the time, so the war isn't stable, according to Vadim Voroshilov. They make traps. They'll send up a Russian jet alone, tricking the Ukrainian pilot into thinking there's only one jet. Then 2 or 3 more will appear either side of it, effectively swarming the Ukrainian aircraft. Not good. And so he says that's why right now we can only hold the enemy, but with F-16s we could control the airfield, as well as the seas and the ground to protect infantry. We need more modern aircraft to be better than the enemy.
Oh boy.
Well, here's a thought. What if you Ukrainians developed your own aircraft and then manufactured more advanced aircraft in your own country? How about that? And then you wouldn't have to rely on all of our stuff. You know, nobody gave this stuff to us. We had to develop it. We had to come up with it. Somebody drew up the plans. Then they, sent those plans to the plant. And then they manufactured it at the plant. And then we trained pilots to fly them. That's what happened.
That's a lot of steps, though.
It's a few steps, yeah. So it's just impossible for Ukrainians to do, obviously. But, man, they're trying to get those F-16s. Ukrainians have at times asked us for as many as 128 fourth-generation aircraft. It only goes up to fifth generation so far. So they want our fourth generation, the F-15s, F-18s, F-16s. Those are the fourth generation. F-32s are the fifth generation. And at least they haven't... soon they'll be asking for those, too.
So they're asking for, like, the not the most recent model of iPhone.
Right.
They're like, we'll take the one.
We don't
right
need the 14. Are we up to 14 or is it 15?
I don't know.
Oh, there's an F-35 as well? Okay, so the F-35 now, too.
Oh, so they're being good.
Yeah. They're being reasonable.
Sure are.
They're being reasonable. Oh, we want the F-16s, 18s. That should do it.
Do we have a military anymore? Or has it just been left in Afghanistan and Ukraine?
Yeah. Sadly, we almost don't, as a matter of fact. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. And even if we sent them, they don't know how to fly them. It would take extensive training for them to be effective with these. I think I've told this story before. In Vietnam, we were getting our anus kicked by the Russian MiGs. And so the pilots were all saying, we can't compete with the MiGs. We got to have better planes. And so they finally got a hold of one. I think it was an Iraqi defector that flew a MiG to a U.S. air base, and then we got it all the way to, I think they took it apart at Area 51. But anyway, they studied this thing and figured out these are no better than ours. So why are we getting our anus kicked? And we realized early on in Vietnam, we were losing that battle 9-1. MiGs would shoot down 9 U.S. jets and only lose 1. So it was a 9-1 ratio. Then we finally decided, the pilots need to be better trained. And once that happened, we turned it around completely. And since that time, I believe it's from Vietnam on, we haven't lost a U.S. fighter jet in a dogfight to any MiGs, to anybody.
Wow.
It was huge. It was the training. So how long would it take to train these Ukrainian pilots? I don't know. Probably a long time. Otherwise, you're just going to waste the F-16s and the F-18s. They're just going to get shot down because they're not trained well enough. You can't train them in 2 weeks to fly F-16s. Anybody seen Top Gun? It takes some time. Takes some time. So, and you need Tom Cruise flying those things.
What's he up to these days?
Right. We need to talk to him about it. Can you go to Ukraine for, a few years and train some of these pilots? They need some training.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we're going to start sending them F-16s, and I'm sure we are. In fact, I've got somebody in the know who is telling me we're already sending them F-16s. Would that surprise you? I mean, I don't have that verified, but it would not surprise me in the least.
Nothing surprises me anymore, and I question every last thing that comes out of the government's pie
especially
hole.
from this administration.
Yeah, especially from this administration.
Because they're just abhorrent liars.
When you've got your National Weather Service on a day when tornadoes are expected to break out across the country, which they did, and you've got the National Weather Service tweeting out, we see you trans people, we see you. All credibility. Anything that was left is just bye-bye.
Yeah, it's out the window. Our credibility out the window. All right, we've been telling you about some of these weather occurrences. Showed you some of the tornado action over the weekend and how it was. I mean, there were people in the tornado who were filming the tornado. But something interesting also happened over the weekend. One World Trade, World Trade Center, the tallest building in New York City.
That's wild. Watch this, man.
Was hit by lightning.
Oh, this is pretty spectacular. And woo!
Oh wow!
It comes in and then it goes out. I mean that's what it looks like anyhow.
Yeah.
Play that again. Let's see.
So
it comes
that is conducted away from people, right, in the building, and safely just. Wow, that's
spectacular. That you're going to see that on like a framed picture somewhere at some point.
That is really cool. Should be if it's not. All right, 888-900-3393. A Brooklyn jury on Friday convicted pro-Trump troll Douglas Mackey of plotting to trick voters out of casting a ballot during the 2016 presidential election. The case, which sought to address if any of the toxic stew of internet disinformation during the 2016 election rose to the level of a crime. I'm glad they're doing this for the 2016 election.
Such a dangerous story. Right. And
I'm glad it's 2016 when Trump won, because you wouldn't want to look at the 2020 election.
Yeah.
Don't look at that at all.
And this guy, when he was charged? He was charged on January 27th, 2021, a week after Biden.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Oh, no. This is such a political.
Gosh.
This is the most important.
They don't even try to disguise it anymore.
No, this is the most important story of the day, quite frankly.
My gosh.
What they're doing to this kid.
Crazy. All right, so Mackey showed no outward reaction when the verdict was read. An appeal is likely, according to his attorney. This was the first chapter of litigation of this case. We would prefer to have won, but I'm confident about the way forward. So he's 33 years old. He gained fame on the internet as the Twitter user Ricky Vaughn posted 2 images. Get this. Here's his big crime. He posted 2 images made to look like fake Hillary Clinton ads.
Yeah, let's see one of them here.
Telling people they could vote by text instead of it. Look, if you're this stupid, you shouldn't be voting.
Right. Avoid the line. Vote from home. Text Hillary to 59925. That's hysterical. That is
funny.
A modern spin.
That's funny. And everybody knows that's not legitimate. Come on. If you're that stupid, should you be voting? Answer? No.
Not the Biden Justice Department over 4 years after he had posted this.
Unbelievable. Federal prosecutors called the images part of a plot to disenfranchise black and women voters. Again, how racist is that? What, no whites were taken in by that? Just black and women?
Oh, yeah, but see, he used a black woman's face on the meme, and that's what makes it cross the line, Pat.
Sure. He said, I was simply sharing ridiculous memes. The jury started deliberating Monday afternoon. It soon became clear that it couldn't reach a consensus whether he committed a federal crime. Are you serious?
Oh.
Can that not be covered by satire?
Oh, yes. I think that's why the attorney is so...
Oh, my gosh.
...is so ready to fight this somewhere other than Brooklyn.
By the end of the day last Tuesday, the jurors wrote a note to the judge saying they'd completed their deliberations and couldn't come to a unanimous decision.
Sorry, we're done here.
Wow.
And then the judge kept, nope, you get back in there.
You're guilty.
You get back in there. Y'all figure this out. So he could face up to 10 years in federal prison for this meme.
Absolute insanity.
Whereas there's a lady on the left who dressed up as a Trump supporter, did this long video telling Republicans you got to go in and vote
on Wednesday. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so, we don't have the video here, but, there she was dressed up. Look, y'all get out there. Yep, and text your vote. She even said text your vote.
Oh, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Text your vote. And she hasn't been charged with anything?
No.
Or has she?
No, she hasn't been even visited by law enforcement.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It's just another ridiculous thing happening in a courtroom up in New York City. You've got Donald Trump expected to turn himself in tomorrow for this stupid indictment up in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Do we have this? Nancy Pelosi, former Speaker of the House. That's right, former. She tweeted out a response to this on Friday or Thursday, whenever it came out. I guess Friday night, is that when it came out? The grand jury has acted upon the facts and the law. No one is above the law, and everyone has the right to a trial to prove innocence. Incorrect, woman.
Hey, Puddin', that's not how the justice system works.
Wow.
Okay? That's not how it works.
Why?
Former Speaker of the House, and you don't understand. Once you tweet that, okay, you're constructing your tweet, and you say everybody has the right to prove their innocence. Does that not sound wrong to you as an American citizen? As an 82-year-old American citizen in politics her whole life, or at least the last 35 years of it, you don't know how it's innocent until proven guilty. It's the other side that has to prove.
No, she knows. I think she knows.
Come on.
I know a lot of things.
She knows a lot of things.
She does.
But I think she's playing to her audience, her stupid, ridiculously uninformed Democrat base.
Wow.
Who are just going to be like, yeah, whatever. Trump sucks, so that works for me.
Right. Let him prove he's innocent.
Let him prove. Yeah, I don't understand why. Is something bothering me is why is Trump going up there tomorrow, as is reported, when Ron DeSantis has said, I'm not going to let them extradite him from Florida.
Yeah,
because he's in Florida right now. Trump is.
Yeah.
Just stay there.
Right.
Let's make this a thing. And I did appreciate Jedediah reminding us on Twitter yesterday. Remember when Hillary Clinton lied under oath, had signed documents saying the opposite of what she claimed when questioned, and didn't get indicted?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yep.
It's just,
jeez.
I mean, and this Manhattan DA, I mean, that was his whole thing, was getting into office and lowering sentences and the thresholds and all this stuff. And then, he releases people into the wilds, and then they go and commit, surprise, more heinous acts. But let's make sure that we drag a former president. This is...
And they love the fact that no president's ever been charged like this before. And that's never happened in American history, and they love that Trump's the first.
They love that he's an answer to a trivia question now.
Uh-huh.
That, with the indictment, and also name the only president
to be impeached
twice. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, these people are so gross. Meanwhile, you've got Ray Epps dodging a subpoena. He's hiding. They're looking for him.
Wow.
So this could get...
It could get interesting. By the way, something incredible is about to happen in the Nashville area. Our nation is tearing itself apart, of course, and we can't go on like this for much longer. We desperately need nationwide spiritual healing in the worst way. From the deep-set ideologies that divide us in dialogue to the real-life moments of violence in which lives are lost, we face total cultural annihilation, if not worse. One of the things we need most right now is for men of God to rise up to the occasion and become who God has made them to be. That's what inspired Jason Whitlock to organize Fearless Army Roll Call. It's an all-day event in Nashville, Tennessee, that will encourage men to put on the full armor of God and take a stand against the evil forces destroying American culture. At this conference, you'll hear speeches from Jason and several special guests, but you're running out of time. Join hundreds of like-minded men in Nashville April 15th for this important conference. Tickets are selling out fast, so secure yours today by going to fearlessarmyrollcall.com. fearlessarmyrollcall.com to reserve your spot today, and hurry. It's your last chance because tickets are running out. This is kind of fun. And on maybe a couple of lighter notes, the other night at the Los Angeles Dodgers game, well, I'm not sure how light this is. It turns out to be a little bit violent. But
I know.
A fan thought it'd be fun to jump out on the field and propose to his girlfriend while they were at the game. And it kind of took a turn that I don't think he was counting on.
Think this through, bro. Let's go! Look at him. Look at him. Gets down on his knee, holds up the ring. And where's there she is, okay.
Get him!
Will you?
Get him!
Woo!
Wow. Bad plan, bro.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you got a story now.
Wow.
That ring I saw go flying out of his hand. It's out there in right field. I don't know where it ended up. It's probably the grounds crew chief took it home to his wife or something.
The guy hit him pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
I'm not sure that was entirely necessary, but, don't go out on the field like that. I mean, he was clearly not endangering any of the players, but, wow, he got taken out.
Not the best plan.
It's not a good idea. Do we know if she said yes?
That's a good question. I was like, I don't even care. I'm looking to see what happened to the ring. I'm just looking at a story. I'm not seeing many details here. But, that's... Good luck. Hope that worked out. Hope that was worth it. Hope she's worth it.
I don't think it turned out to be worth it. It's a stupid place to ask somebody to marry you anyway. But, more power to him. He gave it a shot. It's amazing he got that far into the...
I know.
He's what, center field-ish?
Right field, yeah.
and just kneeling down there for quite a while before he finally got smashed. Watch this again. Let's play it one more time. Watch how hard he gets hit. He just gets nailed. Look at nobody's around him. Kind of weird.
Oh yeah, that's center field. Yeah, dead center.
Yeah. Boom! Bro, that's gotta hurt.
Hope that 2-month salary you spent on that ring that's now ground into the outfield there at Dodger Stadium was worth your time and effort.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wow.
By the way, we were going through all of the things with Trump being indicted and nothing happened to Hillary and so on and so forth. Did you see that there is a, I forgot, not a custody case, but it was a thing with Hunter Biden with his baby mama down in Arkansas. It's something with child support or something like that. And the judge won't unseal like his financial records.
Oh, wow.
Wonder why that would be.
I wonder.
Wonder who.
That's interesting.
Who are we trying to protect there?
Yeah.
I don't think it's Hunter.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah. So, But I mean, it's two systems, right? You got the meme creator who's going away for up to 10 years. You got the other lady for the left that has no trouble whatsoever. I mean, think of every talk show that has said, all right, Democrats, you vote on Wednesday because it's so crowded. I mean, that is absolute satire.
And turn this around.
Right.
If it was Donald Trump Jr. Who had this little issue with a with an illegitimate child from some other state, I wonder if the judge would be reluctant to turn over his records.
Right. Are you saying that if the roles were reversed, Republicans and Democrats?
Exactly if roles are reversed, would it be the same situation?
Oh, I'm sure. It's America. Justice is blind, Pat.
Right, that's right. Yes. Equal justice for all. We all know that. So, yeah, I'm sure everything would be fine. Elon Musk believes that San Francisco, considered the heart of Silicon Valley, is doomed to the extent that an episode of Walking Dead could be filmed in downtown San Francisco without any editing. I think you could say the same thing about Philadelphia.
Yeah, we had that video.
Oh, my gosh. That was stunning. Amid tech layoffs and many offices being shut down, Silicon Valley looks like a doom loop right now. And Elon Musk said the situation is extremely concerning. Just walk around downtown San Francisco, see what will happen, he tweeted. His comments came after American business columnist and author Ashley Vance called the city unconscionable. She said, "We had a 20-minute walk down Market Street with a friend who remarked, 'I've never seen anything like this,' as his head was on a swivel the entire time. I love San Francisco. What the city has become is unconscionable. Several pockets of 20 to 30 people all off their heads." Off their heads. That's a term I'm not necessarily familiar with, but I'm guessing crazy.
Yeah.
Number of them with pants barely on. Zombies, The Walking Dead. Cops observing the proceedings from 100 feet away. That sounds just like the video we showed from Philadelphia.
I'm your nightmare.
Incredible. These major cities are just being turned over to homeless and drug addicts and crazy people.
Yeah, every city. Every city's like this.
The other problem with San Francisco is that so many people are working from home that all the businesses in downtown San Francisco are starting to suffer because nobody's going to lunch at their places, nobody's shopping at their stores, and it's causing the city to atrophy. Interesting. I mean, it's fascinating. Nobody's buying gas for their vehicles, so the gas stations aren't doing well. When you think of the ramifications of, 70 or 80% of the workforce not coming into work in downtown San Francisco, what do you think is going to happen? Oh, the BART system, Bay Area Rapid Transit, they're suffering.
Yeah.
So some are expecting San Francisco to completely collapse on its own weight because you can't sustain this. This is not, it's not going to work for them. And they're asking, so what should California do about it? Should California let San Francisco go down the drain, or are they going to step in, say San Francisco is too big to fail, and so we're going to pump a bunch of money into it?
Well, and then you've also got the state of California getting ready to write out some checks for reparations. So they've got tons of money to spend on frivolous things like keeping a city afloat.
But just $5 million per black family. Is
that what it is?
Yeah, just $5 million. That's all. Yeah, for California, it would be about $800 billion, they're thinking. $800 billion, that's not much. That's not even $1 trillion.
That's true. Well, when you say it like that.
And did you see this story? I think it was last Thursday or Friday, that many blacks who've been questioned about this said that that's not nearly enough. It's not nearly enough.
So predictable.
Okay, so $5 million is not enough. What are you going to hold out for? Wow.
You'll probably get it, whatever you hold out for.
Exactly right. Exactly right. All right, we will see you on Overtime, and then back here tomorrow for Pat Gray Unleashed.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.